This episode is sponsored by the Scare Scotland Talent Agency. Hello and welcome back to FilmPro Productivity and Success, the podcast that helps film professionals and other creative people to live a more focused, effective and happy life. My name is Carter Ferguson and this is episode 154, The Discoverability Problem. If you don't get noticed, you don't have anything. You just have to be noticed. But the art is in getting noticed naturally, without screaming or without tricks. Leo Burnett, unquote. Might be Leo Burnett, actually, now that I'm thinking it. Welcome back, folks, to the final show of this 6-episode mini-season, Season 12. And I just want to say thanks again right now for choosing to spend your time here with me. It is genuinely appreciated. I do the show to give what I can back to a community that I love and I want to support. For those of you that don't know, I've had my own ups and downs in life. I've had my nervous breakdown, as they say in, what was it, the Wedding Singer. I've been there. I've had the issues. I came to productivity to try and get my life back on track, and I really felt at that point that I wish I'd known about a lot of this stuff sooner, and that's why I bring it to you, and hopefully it's influencing your life in a positive way. Please do subscribe to the show though if you haven't done so already, so that you don't miss the next season when it comes along, which will likely be in about 12 weeks time. In last week's show, I introduced another 3 pearls of invaluable wisdom, important advice that could make the difference between success and failure when it comes to your life and work. So please do go back and check that one out. And remember too that there are always plenty of back episodes to learn from and to help you find success. Today, though, I'm looking at something called the Discoverability Problem. It's a marketing-related matter, and I can't say that I have endless solutions to this problem, but I do believe it's a topic worthy of our time. Wikipedia says that discoverability is the degree to which something, especially a piece of content or information, can be found in a search of a file, database, or other information system. Discoverability is a concern in library and information science, many aspects of digital media, software and web development, and in marketing, since products and services cannot be used if people can't find them or do not understand what they can be used for. It is the personal marketing area, marketing for creative freelancers in a very, very noisy world, that I'm particularly interested in at the moment. Muriel Romana is a guest lecturer at my college way back in the 90s when I was training to be an actor. She's an actor herself, an award-winning director. She once said to me, if you are not contactable, you are not employable. If you're not contactable, you're not employable. And I do believe that was the very first piece of productivity advice that I was ever given, or at least the very first one which I took heed of that really meant something to me. And if no one knows you exist, of course, or how to contact you if they want to employ you or work with you, then you will never find success. So it is very, very relevant to the themes and topics that I cover on this podcast. The discoverability problem is particularly relevant in this era of the internet and digital media, where the sheer volume of available content and the number of competing entities make it difficult for any single person to stand out and be noticed. Breaking through the white noise of emails, social media posts, web searches and everything else out there to make sure that you stand out and are discoverable is a particularly difficult endeavour. Findability precedes usability in the alphabet and on the web. You can't use what you can't find. Peter Morville, unquote. The discoverability problem in freelancing terms refers to the challenges we face in making ourselves visible and appealing to potential clients or employers in a crowded and competitive marketplace. We face issues like saturation of the market with the rise of freelancing platforms and the increasing number of individuals offering similar services, it becomes harder and harder for any of us to stand out. It also, we also face issues like visibility amongst potential clients. So we must find effective ways to appear in search results or through recommendations or on freelancing platforms, websites, etc., and social media. We must find new and effective ways to stand out from the crowd. Another thing we can do, or another thing we face, I should say, is the trouble of building a reputation. New freelancers will often struggle to build a portfolio and gain reviews or testimonials that can increase their credibility and attractiveness to potential clients. And an issue that I see come up really quite evidently to me is that this encourages far more iffy approaches like fake it till you make it, which I can tell you does backfire as these individuals are becoming easier and easier to identify and dismiss. I mean, I'm obviously doing a productivity podcast, right? So I see these things stand out. I know that you can buy fake awards in business. I nearly did an episode on it. I've not actually done an episode because I know a couple of people fairly well that I know they've bought the awards that they're putting into publicity, and I don't want to embarrass them. But you can also, in the film festival circuit, you can effectively pay to win if you've got the money. There's film festivals out there that you can, win an award without having any quality to what you've put out there. And as I say, those of us in the business that have kind of been around, we do spot the fake. So I think that's an issue. But I do fully understand that it comes from trying to build a reputation, which is very, very difficult in today's world. Another issue you might face: niche specialization, determining and effectively marketing a unique skill that you have to have in some unique niche area. It can really be quite challenging, especially if there's not a lot of people looking for that skill. But it's an important one if you're going to differentiate yourself from a sea of generalists. Another issue is networking. Freelancers often need to actively network and reach out to potential clients, which requires skill and persistence and money and energy, and finally, and this is one I have a real issue with: algorithm dependency. On digital platforms, social media, etc., freelancers are often at the mercy of algorithms which dictate how and when their profiles are shown to potential clients. I seem to be forever caught in an algorithmic pitfall on Twitter specifically these days. It's something I find great difficulty in combating, and it's something probably that I'll put a little bit of time into, and potentially which will lead to success. In fact, I've kind of abandoned Twitter for now, because I can put out a post and it'll get 1 like. I can put another post out and it'll get 80 likes. And there's no reason why the other one didn't get 20 likes. It's just I feel like there's an algorithm keeping some of the things that I put out there down. Anyway, I'm looking into all this and I'll report back in a later episode. Networking is simply the cultivating of mutually beneficial give and take, win-win relationships. It works best, however, when emphasizing the give part. Bob Burg, unquote. The discoverability problem in freelancing terms ultimately boils down to how effectively a freelancer can make themselves known and appealing in an environment where clients have a plethora of options. It is more and more difficult. Formula for success: underpromise and overdeliver. Tom Peters, unquote. If only it were so simple these days. I overdeliver. I underpromise. I do not find that system works for me anymore. It's a strange day and age, this, that being good at what you do, experienced, cheaper than other people, having more experience than other people, and over-delivering all the time does not guarantee you, never mind the next job, it doesn't even guarantee you success on the job that you're currently on. Did I say success? I meant respect from others. I really find that we live in a day and age where there is no sense of community and no sense of honour, no sense of loyalty. I give out a lot of that, but I do not sense it coming back to me from my employers, sadly. That's not all of them, by the way. There are, of course, individuals out there that I'm thinking of right now who are incredible, but 98% of them don't feed back in that way. Anyway, There are some solutions to the discoverability problem that you might want to try if you're buying into what I'm saying here. And I've used some of them myself, and I honestly can't say that they do all work. I can't say that, but some of them are worth a try. In my world, the world of film, theatre, and in television stunts and fights, etc., I face a fundamental problem in what I loosely call an industry, and that problem is that I genuinely don't believe, as I said a minute ago, that my employers, 95%, 98% of them, care one toss about who they work with at all. I don't get that sense back. I really don't. It's a shame. Again, there are individuals and there are certain companies that absolutely give positive vibes out and are great, but most of them, I just don't feel it anymore. And it's not that they deliberately aren't going out to employ me or give me respect, it's that they don't think about me at all. And that's something for another episode, but I think fundamentally that's a problem that we all are going to face in this world, that we're just not in people's thoughts until we are needed. You know, if you've ever been called on to a job very late and you've had to do stuff and the communication's been great, you fix this, need this, need that, and you turn up, deliver, do everything great, and then 1 week later you're trying to put in your invoice and nobody's replying to you, that's what I'm talking about. Tons of communication when they need something from you, virtually none when you want paid by them. It's definitely an issue in today's world. I will cover it in some future episode if I can come up with some solutions for us. But anyway, here are 10 solutions that I've written down to the discoverability problem that you might want to try. 1, optimize your profiles on freelancing platforms. Include keywords relevant to your skills and services in your profile and project descriptions to improve your visibility in search results. So that's optimize your profile. Okay. Next up, build a strong portfolio. Showcase a range of your past work that highlights your skills and expertise, helping possible clients or employers to quickly understand your capabilities. Number 3, engage in networking. Join those freelancing communities, attend industry events if you can get an invite, if you even know they're happening, and participate if you can in social media groups related to your field to increase your visibility. I would just say one thing on that my visibility is much higher, I believe, online, not here, not in Scotland, than it is in Scotland. I generally from people in the industry get zero, maybe tiny amount of interaction on social media from where the podcast is popular, places like LA, etc. I get a lot more interaction, and I'm more likely to be speaking to a stunt guy in New York than I am to be speaking to a stunt guy who's in London, for example. It's a kind of strange thing. Anyway, another thing you might want to do is develop a personal brand. Creating a personal brand that reflects your unique skills, your values being quite important, by the way, and your professional approach, including something like a professional website you might want to invest in as well, and a consistent social media presence. Also try and get a distinctive logo and style. This is somewhere I've got a little bit lost along the way, because I do try to use social media for social reasons, but I am well aware that that I kind of do put professional things on there as well. I think it's Instagram I'd like to be more professional. Possibly shouldn't just have a picture of me and my dog. I'm not sure. Or maybe I need another account, which is a professional account. These aren't solutions. These aren't definite solutions. These are just thoughts, and you're getting stream of consciousness from me. Anyway, I've got a few more to go. Gather client testimonials and reviews. Encourage good, clients that are happy with your work to leave you some positive reviews or testimonials, as that helps your credibility. Okay. Number 6, create and share your content if you're allowed to. I'm very often tied down by non-disclosure agreements because of the business that I'm in, but you can share your expertise through blogs and videos and social media posts, and this positions you as an expert in your field and can attract clients seeking that expertise. I'd add too that you need to leverage promotional opportunities. So if you're involved in a short film that does well, or if you win an award, do something with it. Don't just sit back and expect the jobs to come to you. You need to be leveraging these opportunities and sharing the content. Just don't assume that everyone is seeing it. And by the way, if you're going to present as an expert in your field, make sure you are a bloody expert, because I see fight stuff every day on Instagram, and I'm face palming stuff that's out there. You don't need to share everything you shoot with your pals. Just share the good stuff. Don't share everything. Let me move on quickly. It's just going to try not to make it a long episode. I'm already at 15 minutes. Another thing to do is optimize your personal website for your SEO. If you've got that personal website and you're working on your personal brand, make sure your SEO is all optimized for search engines and stuff like that. If you don't know what you're doing, pay somebody in Fiverr to sort it out for you. It'll cost you 30 quid or something like that. It's worth doing. Another thing to do, focus down on a specialization, concentrate in a niche or specialized area to reduce competition and make it easier for clients seeking specific skills, your specific skills. Don't niche down into a niche that there's already somebody in that niche right next to you doing. You're putting and then they're getting success in it. You're putting yourself up to fail in that scenario. Adapt a niche, be slightly different from somewhere around. You're going to have a better chance. Listen up to me, folks. Don't just copy what I do. Find your own uniqueness in all of this. Anyway, be active in freelancer communities. That'd be online discussions and stuff like that. You can be active on there, and that just keeps your name out there. Another thing I've got written down here is to utilize paid advertising. I've never particularly had this work for me. I have spent an awful lot of money recently trying to get the Instagram going. I'm saying an awful lot of money. It was like 150 quid, but like I got nowhere. It was just all a waste of money. Again, I could do a show about this, basically anything that makes it look like you're going to legitimately get more followers as opposed to buying fake followers is probably a scam. And if you're going to pay somebody to manage your social media, make sure you 100% trust them, because they could run off with it. I had paid somebody to manage my social media recently, and in the end I had to give them very positive reviews and talk very positively about them. But really all I wanted to do was get into my own account and change all the passwords, because I didn't trust them at that point. Thought they were going to hold it to ransom over me. Anyway, finally, I've written down follow up and seek referrals. So regularly follow up with past clients for potential new projects and ask for referrals to open up new opportunities. That's what I've got down to try and help you combat the discoverability problem. Hopefully it is of use to you. By implementing these strategies, you can enhance your visibility and attractiveness to potential clients and employers, effectively countering this discoverability problem in freelancing. So I hope you found today's show a little bit enlightening. I had to do a bit of research on this one, I've got to be honest, but I thought it was a topic worth getting into, and I hope that you'll be able to use what you've learned here and help yourself stand out from the crowd. There's always that chance that there just isn't a lot of work out there for you, though. So if you are getting nowhere, it really might be worth diversifying or changing what you are doing in order to pay the bills. Certainly that's where I'm at in my head at the moment, as there just isn't a lot of work around. There certainly isn't as much work around as there used to be. 2023 was, I got lucky. I got a couple of great projects in there. That's what carried me through into 2024, but it could very easily have went the other way. If I hadn't ended up on these particular two projects, I would be living off my savings right now, as opposed to living off the small profits that I made from last year. So diversification in these unstable times is something worth considering. Anyway, that's enough for today, and that is the end of this Season 12 mini-season. So thank you again for listening. I will be back with more episodes soon, even sooner if I can't find any decent employment myself. Perhaps I'll come in with another 6 episodes of Season 12 and make it a full season sooner rather than later, and maybe I'll just move straight on to Season 13 instead. You'll just have to wait and see, and you'll really only know if you are subscribed to the show in the podcast app of your choice. And please, if you have not done so already, please, I'm not really begging you, I'm just saying, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, or even just a star rating on Spotify. It all helps the discoverability problem that I have with this podcast, FilmPro, Productivity and Success. I'll end the season with a quote, though, from Thomas A. Edison, who said, "Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work." Now take control of your own destiny. Keep on shooting and join me next time on FilmPro Productivity and Success. The The music that you can hear right now is Adventures by Ehumitsu, and the executive producer of this season has been Chris Somerville of Frontline Kit UK. I will pronounce it properly one day, Chris. They do uniform hire for film and television in the UK. You can view the show notes for this episode, the full show notes, only on the official website, although there is a cut down version on the app that you're listening to as well. The official website is filmproproductivity.com. Please continue to support the show, folks, by subscribing, spreading the word, and leaving an awesome review.